Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. It's another day or two after the last video, getting back out here to do some work on it. Haven't done much since, but the last video we got the engine in it, transmission, fired it up, make sure all the gear ratios look decent and that all the mechanicals were going to do what they are supposed to do, and everything seems quite well. Very happy with the progress we made on the last one. So I think on this one I'm still waiting on some electrical components to come in, but we have other mechanical stuff that can be taken care of, namely running the exhaust out to the port on the side here, bracketry for the shifter and the brake lever and those kind of things we can kind of start working on. So I'm going to go get some of this stuff up out of our way, get the gas disconnected, and make a little bit of room. And let's start on the exhaust and see where it goes from there. So I took a minute to clean up and put stuff away on the bench and get ourselves organized, which we are. So this is the factory muffler that came with this engine, and I pretty much figured we can slice it about here and we could rotate the elbow, and we want to cut the muffler part off itself. That's what we feel we want to do, and then we want to go and exit out this direction. What we had that came with the machine was this muffler and this pipe going to it. The pipe going to it looks like it's had better days, like somebody might have been living in it. The flange is gone on it. The diameter looks like it's probably about 1.25 inches, and what's on there looks like it's just under 1 inch maybe. And this was the muffler that was on it. I don't know if that's a factory setup there or that's somebody boogering something up during its life. I don't see any damage to the muffler itself. It has live has live critters in it. Maybe want to take the air gun to it outside and try blowing that out. As a moth reappears. So that would have been tucked up in there somehow. That's the angle it went on it. It looks like that bracket is kind of fixed to a certain angle. Can we back it up now? So we need to go from there around to there. We'll probably unbolt it. And if we spin it 180, it'll be straight back. But if we cut the pipe, I wonder if that'll do it for us. And we make some kind of U. I don't see being in the way of the air cleaner. We could probably wrap it with exhaust wrap too to keep some of the heat down from the fiberglass, but that's where it was. That's where it was before. Let's see, we should be able to get to the pull start if we need it. Nothing for the air cleaner. Yeah, maybe. Let me go blow this out, and we could actually probably choke up on this guy too and make it a little further back. Let's get that guy cleaned. And we gotta look for some kind of pipe that makes a bend. I should love when the one thing that's supposed to keep critters away, which is the rat poison, is what they make their nest out of. So I walked around the hoard a little bit and tried to find whatever I could find that had a curve to it. So far, that's what I got. And the mailman just came. We got one of the pieces. I don't know what it is yet. It would be the pump, the bilge pump. Good. And that is supposed to have its own built-in float. It turns itself on and off automatically. No hose. That shouldn't be a big deal though. Alright, let's unbolt the muffler, get that off of there, and start cutting it up and see what we can work with. So we got, if we could flip it that way, as long as we start the curve fairly early. It'd be nice if I can pop the flange off and just do that, I think. I don't know if I'm going to be able to grind that out of there without it. I wonder if we can just sacrifice maybe the pipe and keep the flange. What if we just slice it up? Now we slice it right here and make our own bend, right? So if we want it, doesn't really matter. Place that way. So if we just slice it there, and then we'll come up with a solution to go over. You can point it in any direction you want then. Yeah, why don't we do that? Alright, so that's the piece that we got. This is the elbow that was left over. We can kind of steer that any direction we want. And then I have that moped-like muffler set up. You could probably come in about there. It actually makes if I want to leave a stinger sticking out of the back, but I think we can cut, I don't know, probably about right. We'll cut it long. We'll cut it right here for now, and we'll see how the other muffler kind of butts up to that, what we can do for this placement. So I'm trying to lay it out. I got that cut down, and this pipe wants to, the muffler wants to stay so much of an angle due to the flange. Not wanting it to move, but I notice it has a set screw here. I don't think that's going to allow a great amount of movement, but it should allow it to at least come all the way this way to the wall, give us some kind of wiggle room. So loosen that up and see what we get. So I kind of call that the factory location. Got that set screw backed out. I don't know, I'm thinking something like that should be pretty good. This is again kind of like the factory spot where it was. It really shouldn't be an issue with the body. I don't see a 4-stroke getting that much hotter than a 2-stroke, but I think a 2-stroke actually would get hotter. Choke levers here, air cleaner. I think we'll be all right. I think it's a metal. We use the stock one. I think it's a metal enclosure. Choke lever. Yeah. We might be able to take the. Can we take it and flip it around? Lay it out. Rotate it that way. The only thing is it uses the spring. And I guess. It uses a little spring for the detent to stop it from clicking. We can worry about that later, I guess. Just need a little bit more. do it. I'd like to be able to clamp the muffler to the header pipe, but we got a bit of a gap change there. So I'm going to go look and see if I can find some kind of metal that we can shim this out with and weld to here and then clamp it to this. How about this little can of miscellaneous? Okay, mate. Yeah. I bet you we are not going to have... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Too thick of a wall. Piece of pipe is really kind of what we need instead of a... Oh, that guy. That is close. What if we just weld... What if we were just to weld that right to the end of that? And make that be our... I'm going to keep looking, but that's our primary right there. I think I'm going to go with... Why don't we take this one and slice the side of it open, because it's kind of sloppy still in the muffler. It could actually use to be opened up a little, and it can be opened up a little to grab the inside of the pipe. Yeah. We could try it. Let's go slice that, put it over the top of that, and see if that'll go in there. And we could weld that to there and then fill the little void up with weld. It's going to be quite a bit. Grab that guy in there. And see if we can slide it over. I think it's going to be just a hair too fat. Let's go see how it looks compared to the muffler if we go that route. May still play with it a little. Can't raise the bridge, lower the water a little. So I took, and then we put a slice in it. What if we just made that a little smaller? Make that a little smaller. Let's see if that will now fit. No, it's right there. I think we hit it with a hammer. She's going. That might be a little bit to try to fill. Watch your eyes. That'll work. I'm going to go with something like that. That should do it. And again, we can unbolt it here, slip the joint apart and get it all apart. I got the tailpipe sticking out. I'm not quite sure where it was before. Yeah, actually it wasn't even attached when I got it. So I figure, you know, that much out past the flange should be about right. And it's about in its factory spot too, where it was. Maybe put that set screw back in. I don't know if I want to come up with another mount off of it. We'll see. I'm gonna get it back out of there. I'm gonna finish welding up, clean up the welds, and we'll move on to something else, I guess. I welded up and then put it back in again. It looks decent. I went around it with extra welds and beefed it up. Makes it look uglier, but it makes for a stronger end product. And I came back with a flapper disc and just kind of knocked off the highs on it. Nobody wants a lumpy beaver. What do you say? We could probably listen to it, see what it sounds. There should be enough gas in it to run for a couple of seconds. Let's see if it'll fire up. Let's see what happens. Try it with no choke. No choke. Could be no gas in it too. And the wire that grounds it out it was touching. Let's try that again. Sounds pretty good. Got a nice deep thump to it. I like that. Starting to run out of gas now. That was smart. And that's hot. So I took that as an omen to go inside the house and grab a cup of coffee, sit down at the computer and order some heat wrap, exhaust wrap for that. So that's done. Grabbed an ice pack and got myself okay. A couple of wrinkles there. It's probably going to blister. And like you never done it. All right, so let's get into what we want to get into. We want to go one of two ways. I either want to come up from the back and make a bracket up to grab from the upper part to help support the engine with a little bit more of a motor mount, and or extend the brake cable lever to the brakes so that the brakes are hooked up. One of those two we're going to do. We're good. I decided to take the shifter assembly and the clutch and all the other crap that was on there, the throttle cables. Gutted that center section. I think we could probably come up off of this plate with our forward and reverse shifter. Not sure. We could put it on the side too if you want. But then I decided to jump over to the brakes because I'm kind of in that same area. So I looked at the brake pedal, which was frozen. We're working that up. We got some spray on there, letting that start to free up. But there's the end of it. It has adjustment on it. So we can hook the back up the way it was. And I'm going to take a wire wheel and clean up some of that crap and see if we can get those adjusters to work its way back again. And then we should be able to have it just the way it was. So to fast forward you a little bit, let's go free up the end of that cable. And I broke it off. Oh well. Got a coupler that can go on to what the threads are left. And then we're going to go with another hardened bolt, cut the head off with the threads and make that the adjustment on the other side. Well, I'm still trying to free the pedal up and broke the bolt in that one too. So I don't think it was ever going to come free. I think that was definitely the water line, and I think it's been under there for a very long time. So either I'm going to hammer that out of there or drive that out of there some fashion. That bolt's going to come out of there. We'll put a new one in, put the pedal all back together, and see if we can have some brakes. So I started breaking all kinds of stuff, so I decided to stop filming and actually get some repairs done. So that's the outcome for that. That is threaded halfway into there. That one's threaded halfway into there, and they're bound up. They're tight on each other. And then you still have the adjusting nut there and the adjusting barrel. So we back to having the front adjustment. And then I drilled out the front one and put a new bolt through it for the pivot down there. So that should free everything back up. I just gotta, it has a spring that holds it. Sheet on the wall up there. It's got to repair the end of that guy. That thing right there, repair the end of that so it can hold on to the pedal, and then we'll put the front together, put the back together. We should have brakes. And the brakes are all done. Hooked up, gone through. Cable's a little iffy, it's got a broken strand or two, but for now it's good. And then unfortunately it doesn't want to return as good as it does, so I added another spring on the back. I know it's kind of jury rigged, but it works if you have brakes. I'm tired of working on that. Let's go with opening the gas cap and see what the tank looks like. I don't know if there's a cap under there or there's, apparently not. Apparently not. At least they weren't cheap on the duct tape. It's like a radiator cap, doesn't it? Should make it fairly easy to find. It doesn't look too bad. Can you see there? I'll blow that out with some air. Guys are saying that ethanol can eat the fiberglass up. Don't use ethanol. I'm probably going to stick with the Can 2 racing fuel, and if I could find non-ethanol fuel, I'll fill up a tank. But for the amount that it's going to use, for now, I'm going to run the good stuff. Took the what was left of that gas line off the other end, and this might be a problem. Spins in there. That's not good. The hose was like kind of jammed up onto the fiberglass. I don't know if they were trying to make a seal up on this. I guess it was a pre-existing problem. Yeah, they had to cut it off and then pulled it back. They had a thing run up there pretty far. Not sure what we can do about fixing that. Let's see if we can tap that guy. I blew in it. It was like leaking out around the sides. So yeah, there was nothing left of that seal. That seal just kind of, I think it was cork. Yeah, it was cork. It might allow us to go have access to the end of the fuel inlet. So we're going to need a gasket, a gas cap for that, and I know they sell for garden tractors, riding lawnmowers. They have like a clamped together fuel nipple. It'll have a, I think it's like brass with a washer on it. Sometimes it has a filter sticking up into the tank, and a rubber bushing, another rubber bushing. So you pancake, you know, the two halves together, and then you have a nut that you can run up, and then there's the nipple sticks out down below that. So I'm going to go probably try to look for one of those, and what we can do is we'll just cut off what is there. I'm able to, from the top, I should be able to feed the top section down after I drill it out and squeeze that together. That's my plan right now, but we're going to let that go for now. Let that be, you know, chase parts for it. Brakes hooked up. We have throttle and shifter. I think I want to kind of kick over to the shifter, maybe start routing that as the next thing to knock off the list. So I started piecing that together, and that's what we have. This is offset. You can flip it either direction. We can get a little bit more height out of it if you need to, but I think we'll be fine just the way it is, because the two cables run and they're kind of a preset length, so we're gonna have to work with wherever these two guys kind of end up. We could probably, I guess we could loop it if we have to. It's not the, I guess if we do a soft a soft bend. Alright, and this is the shifter. Here's the detents that are on it. I'm not going to be able to do it one-handed, I don't think. So you take this cover off, we'll see what we have for the hookups on that, and then that. How does it attach to the wall too? Does it use that? That and that? You know what I mean? Like what, how is it meant to be mounted? How do you mount your shifter in the Beaver? Alright, how about what do we want it? I'm going to go screw around with that, and the battery's flashing in the camera. So I took that apart and put it in its locations. It's got two close together is where the cable ends go. And you can see how far this jacket is away from, they're supposed to be back there. Both of those are supposed to have much more slacking attached to that. So that means that this bracket, I'm not sure which way it went, is on bracket backwards. This needs to be flipped around the other direction, which will make these points a lot closer to there. So let me get that done and see how it works out now. That's a little better. It's in neutral right now, and you can see it's kind of sitting in the detent of neutral. So this cover just has a big spring on the inside of it. The whole thing gets sandwiched together. Totally missed the hole. So that will get sandwiched back together again. You need to say that. You. I think it's easy. Yeah. Fight with me, will you? Yeah. Alright. So I think we're pretty good as far as that. Put it in reverse. So if the shifter's mounted like that, that'll be reverse. If not, I could swap the two cables if I needed to go this way. I like that. Everything's kind of flopping loose, nothing's tight, but we can. That's reverse. No, that's reverse. Neutral. Forward. You may want to confirm that though. Neutral. That's reverse. I just unplugged my light. I just ran the sprocket up my switch. And let's go the other way. I'll bound it up. I already did that one, right? You want to go that way. If I can get the slack out of them on these guys, you can adjust them. Take the slack out of the system and tweak where neutral is, you know, get the fine tune where neutral is up here. All right, we gotta go figure out where to mount that thing though. I think I'm going to need to make myself a little more comfortable. This is where I flip it. Let's see. That thing's kind of low. I'd probably say, actually, the passenger's side. What do I care what how much comfort they have? I got enough crap over here. You could probably even do it. I don't want it. I don't think I'm going to want it like that. Can it come through the back through the center hole? And is that going to be? I guess it could. I hope I show you what's going on, right? not going to be comfortable to try and shift. Your elbows kind of, not that, let's put it forward as far as possible. Is it going to be in the way of you? What do you think? There? Or punch 2 holes, let the cables run back, and have it over here. I think if we mount it here, there's that big steel bracket that the original shifter was attached to. We can make a bracket and weld onto that. Pretty much get fairly stout. As long as there's room for the cables to go through, that might be an issue. It's going to be an issue. Unless I loop the cables back behind and have the shifter mount that way. Is there anything attached to mount it to the front? I'd have to make a plate still, come up here and make a bend, and then have that plate bolt. It's starting to sound like a big pain in the ass compared to drilling 2 holes and sticking it right there. I'm gonna grab a guard tractor battery and shove it in that hole and see how much room that requires and what we need to work around. That'll help with the decision. Yeah, so passenger side it is. I danced around in different spots, goes up, around, uses up the rest of the cable. Comfortable for me to go over and grab. The passenger, when they're getting in, is probably going to catch their pant leg on it, but better them than me, right? So I'm trying to find where neutral is. I got it set up. Now it shifts, but I don't want to have it so I'm just barely in one of the 2 gears. So I think what I want to do is disconnect both of these cables again, or the bracket, let this thing click to where neutral is. I'm going to mark it on here and here, and then set up neutral when the shifter's in neutral. I think it'd probably be the best way to accommodate, because these brackets are bent up and stuff from me, so you can't really go by these. They're been altered. Yeah, that worked out the best. Kind of marked them, like a timing mark. The light part is not helping you guys. What I should have done is I should have marked all the way forward and all the way reverse and reverse too, just to make sure, but I think we got it. Works good. We have the exhaust done, the brakes working. I like to find new brake shoes. I know that everybody's commenting on giving me links to the other Beaver, amphibious, and the Pelican, the guy that has all the nice ones in Canada, and I was well aware of that. I contacted him before I even put any videos up, but thanks everybody for the link. Where was I going with that? Oh, he had I think a link. He has a website, and on the website it had links to where to get some parts for, so brake shoes should be on there. I'll be able to chase them down. That's that. So shifter, it's backwards from what it says. Reverse is forward, forward is reverse, but I want it so you get in it, you want to go forward, you push the lever forward, you're going to go backwards, you push the lever backwards. Yeah. Well guys, the push was real. I really tried to get it done and be able to run it around the yard, but it's just, I'd rather just kind of finish things instead of trying to do it half-assed. Not that it's not half-assed. So I'm gonna go wrap this one up here, guys, and hopefully the next one, I keep saying it, hopefully the next one is we get to romp the thing around a little bit. But for tonight, it's almost midnight. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm going in and go eat and call it a night. So with that, guys, I want to thank you all for kind of hanging out in the garage with me and turning some wrenches on some weird junk. So till the next one, later. That was a good one, huh? You know I want to pop it. Then it hurts really bad.